The following is an interview with Alyx Vance's voice actor for Half-Life 2, Episode 1 and Episode 2, Merle Dandridge. This interview was conducted following the announcement that Alyx Vance was recast for the recently announced Half-Life Alyx, for which the character is the titular role. The public-facing dialogue for Valve as to why Alyx is being played by a different actor had to do with the age of the character. However, the reality of the situation, at least according to Merle, appears to be significantly different. I will let the interview speak for itself. You did work on officially on Half-Life Alyx.
I have done work playing Alyx Vance in the past couple of years. Yes, I have.
Was there a large gap working on that character between Episode 2 and you starting up again with what became Half-Life Alyx?
Well, yeah, of course there was. I have been living with this character for quite some time now. I mean, what did I meet her in 2002, and I've carried her around for quite some time. So it was really actually wonderful to revisit her. Well, not revisit her because she's been sitting in my spirit for so long, but my passion around the character, if anything, grown. And so my great joy, and even though Valve ultimately decided to change who was going to play Alyx Vance right now, I feel very happy and confident that everything that I know about her and everything that I am passionate about might somehow be still somewhere woven into the fabric of what comes out. And so if that's my contribution, if that's my artistic contribution, I don't know what the reasons were for going in a different direction, but that's outside of my control. And I am really thrilled that I got the time with her that I did. And if I could have been any help to further the legacy with my input, because I seemed really interested. I mean, obviously I have a long-standing, what's the word, barometer of her ethics and who she is. So it was fun to have that satisfaction, to know that in my artistic self, that's the most that we can do, is we can put some goodness into the world, and we can send it off into the distance, and as if planting a mustard seed, believe that it will grow into something great. So I am watching as a fan. I don't know why I'm no longer with the game. I was never told. And this is a great opportunity. Thank you, Tyler, for giving me this forum to say this, because I've seen so much on social media of people with this righteous anger for me, and it makes me feel very loved, appreciated, very cared for. And if I don't respond to it, it's not because I don't appreciate it, and deeply appreciate it and love these people who have gone on this journey that I have loved so much. There's so much negativity in this world, and I just don't believe in putting negative words out. Do you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
It does, yeah.
So it's not, if I don't respond to it, I'm still hearing it and I'm still appreciating it. So thank you for advocating for me, and thank you for caring about my connection to the character. And I just wanted to say thank you.
So you did voice work for Alyx Vance for the past few years. Do you remember around when you were first approached to return to the character?
Oh gosh, it's so vague, but it's been a few years, I think. And it's been, I think it's gone through many, I couldn't tell you what's going on that end, but it comes around here and there. They were just so gracious coming to Atlanta, where I was shooting Greenleaf, and for me, it's a passion project. So it wasn't like I was doing it for the same that I did the other games 15 years ago. It wasn't like I was getting rich off it. It was just for my own heart and my own passion.
You were let go from Valve, as far as you're aware, and you were never given a reason why. Is that accurate?
That's accurate. But please don't mistake me for sitting over here like, why? If they want to do something else, they want to do something else. And I believe that they surely are doing justice to the franchise, because I don't know what the game is. I don't know what the game is. So perhaps what I have to offer is not the best thing for the project. I don't know. But that's out of my hands. And I'm a huge fan. So I'm watching with bated breath to see what great things they're going to do.
Sure. However, how do I word this? You weren't told what happened. The public-facing dialogue as to why the character was recast was because they were working with a younger version of the character. Now, you saw the trailer, I'm sure.
Mm-hmm. I saw it. It was dope.
Yeah, you were doing many years of voice lines and voice acting, voiceover work for this character. What's your opinion on the idea of they chose somebody else because that somebody else needed to sound younger?
I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to do. I certainly know that I asked the question because I'm a singer and I have a gift of manipulating my voice. If they wanted me to try some different sounds, and they never did. So I don't know. So if somebody else has something that they think is right, I will trust that.
There's also the general opinion. There's the theory that, well, they couldn't have you on because when you were voicing Alyx 15 years ago versus now, it seems as if you're a much bigger deal nowadays. You're on Greenleaf, you're on The Flight Attendant. You must be so busy.
I'm not a big deal. I'm just an actor. Oh my gosh. Are you kidding me? That is hilarious. I am. When people say that, I'm always like, are you talking about me? Oh my gosh. That's hilarious. No, I mean, I feel very lucky that I get to be an actor. I get to do what I love for a living in many different mediums, and it's a thrill. It's a thrill to be able to do a whole lot of things, and I love the diversity of my job, that I get to be so many different things.
But you don't think that it's the theory that, well, they couldn't cast you because you were too busy on Greenleaf? That's...
Oh, no. There was always time. They made time.
Did you ever do any motion capture work for Valve?
No.
Okay. Now, there's the theory going around that you're still in the trailer. Is that true?
Again, I couldn't speculate, but I know my voice pretty well. I'm pretty sure I heard it.
I heard it too. And it seems a little, and I'm not going to put any words in your mouth here, but it seems a little nefarious to bait and switch the audience like that.
Oh, I never thought of that. That hurts my feeling. That hurts my heart to think that people would feel that way.
That's feel that it's wrong to bait and switch the audience, or that's what Valve did?
It hurts my heart to think, just that idea in general. It hurts my heart.
So let's say hypothetically, Half-Life Alyx does well, and they need to do future games to continue selling VR units because it's a new platform. It's new. It's all new stuff. If you were approached to voice the character in a different game, would you accept it? Is there no bad blood there? Would you go back to that character if given the opportunity?
I mean, every job is its own thing. So this job seems to be done for me. So it would, it would be a completely different discussion and a different, you know what I mean? We would. That's just how that goes. If it's a new job, then let's talk about it. Comparing
your experience of the last few years working at what I'm going to call new Valve versus your experience with Valve back in the days of Half-Life 2 and the episodes, are there any major differences that struck you during your time there? Well, my experiences working are usually with very small teams of people. So the way of working, I mean, of course, with different people, it's going to be a different experience, but it's the same character and recording the same stuff. So being in the booth and trying to imagine, I probably put a lot of pressure on myself too, because I wanted it to be so good. Do you remember who was directing? Because back in the days of Half-Life 2, was Laidlaw the one directing everybody? Well, my time in Half-Life 2, it was all three of them, Mark Laidlaw, Bill Fletcher, Bill Van Buren. And in the time of today, do you remember who was directing you now? I do, but I wouldn't. They make whatever the decisions they're making. I am an encourager. Have you discussed the recast or anything related to this new game with Laidlaw? No. Were you ever asked to, and this is kind of tangentially related, but it's kind of off topic. You're also well known as Legion Commander. I'm well known as Legion Commander? Yeah. I mean, why wouldn't you be? That's neat. Well, I guess I never
am in those forums, so I don't know, how those characters are received. I just do it, and then I don't get the feedback. I'm not on those boards, and I don't play Legion Commander or Winter Wyvern. I don't know. So it's to know that people are resonating with the character. That's pretty cool. So thank you for giving me that information. Again, you put something artistic out into the world, and you put your whole heart into it, and you just hope that it moves forward and touches somebody. That's all.
The question is, but I guess to give it a bit more context then, Legion Commander is one of the major characters of Dota specifically. Winter Wyvern, they do a lot of processing to your voice, kind of. So it's not really yours in a way, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But Legion Commander is very much you. And Legion Commander next to Axe or, pretty much it's just Legion Commander and Axe. They're the two big ones that are essentially like the face of the game.
Oh, really?
Yeah. They're kind of like the mascots for it.
The happy one.
And, Legion Commander is such a big...
She's weighty. She's got a lot of weight.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
She is, yeah. And completely, which is hilarious because I sound more like a Valley girl than a Legion Commander.
Well, I mean, it's Dota 2 for the longest time was the most played online game in the world. And
oh my God.
Legion Commander being one of two mascots for that game, that voice is in the minds of millions of people. And so,
wow.
Yeah.
Tyler, you blow my mind with these things that you're telling me. It's just a thrill.
So the question that I'm trying to ask is, Legion Commander, there have been a couple Dota spin-offs, Artifact and Underlords.
Okay.
And Legion Commander has been very overtly part of those experiences as well, due to her large importance to the universe of that game. Now, you have been working for a few years with Valve on Half-Life Alyx, yet Legion Commander was recast in these spin-offs. Were you ever approached to reprise your role?
I think I did a little bit of work on it, maybe a couple of sessions. I don't know. And again, if they recast it, they didn't tell me, or if they were doing something else. And it's not really my property. If they want to do that, they can do that.
It sounds very different, and it's a little upsetting to me, but that's my own personal vendetta. I'm sorry. So, back to the VR game. This is kind of unrelated to the recasting, but have you been able to have a chance to try virtual reality in your own time?
Yeah, I have tried it before.
Do you own a kit? Did Valve supply you with a kit, or have you play tested?
No.
Okay.
No.
Are you anticipating playing the game?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Okay. It's fairly well known that early this year Valve retooled the story of the game. And it's another community theory that because of this story retooling, they took you off of the game because of that. It's kind of a two-part question. They retooled the story about January of 2019. Do you think that had anything to do with it? Were you aware that they retooled the story? Did they clue you into this going on?
Yeah.
When did they let you go in relation to the project?
I out of respect to Valve, I'm not going to say exactly when, but we've spent some time this year in Georgia working on it.
So you were doing some voice work after January of this year?
I will say that, yeah. After January, I did do some.
And then lastly, you're saying you did voice work for it for a few years. Half-Life Alyx has been around since, late 2015, I think. Would you say that through the game's entire lifespan up until whenever you were let go, you were playing that character?
I don't know. Again, I don't know what their timeline was and what they were doing, but I feel like I spent a good enough amount of time on it. And yeah, this year I had a great opportunity to spend a lot of time in Alyx Vance world. And I was happy to do so. So I feel very good. And if any of the fans feel slighted, know that whatever I know about Alyx, I think some of that will will find its way into the game in some way.
Well, before we wrap this up, I just want to give you a few pieces of information that I have been able to glean about the game over the last few weeks since we've last talked. I have a few people that I converse with that have access to the game. They play it a few times in their own personal life. And according to these people, your voice was in the game up until about a week ago. You were Alyx Vance up until about a week ago. Secondly, it seems as if you had done a good 90 to 95% of the game before they made the decision to recast, according to the files that I personally don't have access to, but through a mediary I am aware of. This is my job to do as deep as investigative work as I can on something as stupid as a video game, but it is what I do for a living.
It's not stupid. It's a powerful character that's touched a lot of people, and I think that her honesty and her courage have lived in people's hearts, and as well as mine, and people are protective of her. That's no small thing, in that as artists we have a great opportunity to shed some kind of light on our condition, and I think that the commentary that the Half-Life franchise offers on who we are, where we're going, what we could be, are all really powerful things. So it's not a small thing to come into people's homes and people's hearts and people's lives, and now into their virtual space, to be protective of how we tell those stories. So it's not a small thing.
Okay, I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah, according to the people that I have talked with, comparing your work with the work of the new actor, it's very eerily similar. And the current prevailing theory is that they are still using you as a base and requesting that this new actor emulate what you have done over the years. Which does beg the question, why do that in the first place? If you, A, did like 90% of the work to begin with, and then pay another actor to redo all of it, and then try to emulate what the original person was doing to begin with, that does raise a lot of really strange questions about what exactly Valve is attempting to do and what their goals here are. Yeah, I just want to make sure that you are in the know of the character that you are more responsible for than most people, other than maybe Laidlaw. So, I just really appreciate all the work that you've put into it. Once again, if not for your passion for the character, I would not be here. I've said that last time we spoke. And I just want to make sure that I can provide as much information to this situation as I can so that you're as informed as possible, because I feel as if you deserve that. I don't know. I don't understand the world of acting. That's not my wheelhouse. However, I do know how to get information, and I'm trying to just provide that to you. So I'm sorry if I may have crossed the line with anything that I have said today. However, I do feel very deeply about this franchise, these characters, so.
Tyler, what you just said just means the world to me. Thank you so much. Thank you. I care very deeply about her as well.